I apologize for the testing. Testing. Okay. I apologize for the delay. We will now call to order the regular city council meeting. The time is now 6:43 p.m. Deputy City Clerk Ty, will you please take roll?
Okay, Councilmember Frometa is excused. Councilmember LaPlante?
Present.
Thank you. Councilmember Trujillo?
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Alvarez?
Present.
And Mayor Pacheco?
Present.
Thank you. And we have a quorum.
Thank you. And I would now like to invite up Pastor Art Reyes for the invocation.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Art Reyes. I'm a pastor of Calvary Chapel here in the city of Downey, and I just want to thank the mayor for the invitation, the police and fire chief for giving us the opportunity to pray for you as well. Before I pray, I want to share just one verse with you, and that has to do with one word that holds all the words that are around this room and the walls, and that's the word integrity. Proverbs 14, verse 34 says, "Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to all people." Lord Heavenly Father, we come before you right now, Lord, before this meeting, and your word has told us very clearly that it is righteousness, it's godliness, Lord, that exalts a nation and a city. So we pray, Lord, for the police department, for the fire department, for the council members, for the mayor, that you would give them wisdom by your Spirit, Lord, that they would always walk in integrity in the decisions that they make, Lord, and that you would be glorified in everything that happens in this city. So we pray for the residents, Lord, of the city of Downey, that you would give us a heart of compassion to protect them, to serve them, Lord, and to be one, Lord, that is here, Lord, to lead as a servant. So we pray this all, Lord, in your name, in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. And now I would like to invite up a special guest, my mother and Cerritos College Board of Trustee, Mariana Pacheco, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, everyone, face the flag. Please place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will now proceed on to City Council member announcements, requests for future agenda items, and conference meeting reports. I'll start off with my far left with Councilmember Trujillo.
Good evening, everyone, and Feliz Dia de las Madres. Happy, I call it Mexican Mother's Day, but I believe there's other countries that celebrate Mother's Day today also. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there who may celebrate that special day today. Especially my mom in heaven, Ofelia Rodriguez Trujillo. Ballots have dropped. It's very important that you vote. I've been asking people in the city, and I don't know that in the history of the state for this particular area, we've ever had a representative, a resident of our great city, Downey, represent us in Sacramento. It's always been a representative from a surrounding city, one of our neighboring cities. But we have an opportunity this time, Downey, to elect someone, our very own, to represent us in this very important capacity. So I hope you will look at the cadre of candidates and remember that as residents of the city, we should be looking for who's going to represent Downey best in Sacramento and look out for the interest of our city. And I think it's well known that that's our mayor, Blanca Pacheco. I hope you will seriously consider voting for her when you do your due diligence. Hats off to Gonzalo Pacheco here, her father, longtime Downey residents, great representatives of this community who have given so much to our community. So I hope you will seriously consider supporting our mayor for the California Assembly seat. Elections are in your mailbox. The ballots are in your mailbox. Please vote them out. Please vote. Curb appeal, as you know, that's one of the issues that I'm very passionate about, and this is a great time for us. If you've seen all the machinery out in our streets, particularly in Florence Avenue, remember that it's our taxpayer money that's out there working for you to improve, again, our city. So thank you to the Public Works Department for carrying on that huge project. It's looking great out there. Florence Avenue will be fantastic once again. I had an opportunity to attend the Downey Symphony. We're one of the few cities in LA County of all 88 cities where we still have our own symphony. This was the last show, third time's a charm. Fantastic show. Really proud of the symphony. I hope you will come out to future shows in our beautiful theater. Also had an opportunity to visit some neighboring cities. Congratulations to Compton. They broke ground on Saturday for the new Compton High School. Dr. Dre was in attendance, as you may have heard. This Downey resident this Compton resident went back to his neighborhood and donated in excess of, I believe, $5 million to build a state-of-the-art studio as part of the high school. So congratulations to Compton High School. That school is scheduled to open in 2025. Also attended the Santa Fe Springs Arts Festival. Congratulations to our neighbors on an amazing arts festival. And lastly, I attended the Downey Touch a Truck event. What a great event. It was fantastic seeing Downey families out there at Independence Park. A great idea. Congratulations to the city staff on putting on a great event. I look forward to that event next year and hopefully seeing it expand. And that concludes my comments, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Councilmember LaPlante.
Echo the comments from Mr. Trujillo. Appreciate that statement you made. Agree with them. Dr. Dre did about 10 million. Wow. For him, dropping the bucket. But I know a lot of the people in Compton Unified particularly, and this is going to be a real showpiece for them, and they've done a great job over the last few years in Compton with their elementary education, and this will solidify their secondary schools. Other than that, I'll have more comments about Downey in the future, but tonight I'm just figuring out how all the buttons work and figuring out that the real-time translation that I see on my screen is really weird. It has words that don't even make it into words.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mayor Pro Tem Alvarez.
Good evening to everyone. I just want to say thank you for being here, and I wanted to say thank you to the staff as well, because without them, this wouldn't be happening. And then I'm talking about the Shower of Hopes every Monday. We're gathering about 14 to 15 people every Monday, and so I just want to say thank you for that, and also to Janice Han for that as well. Thank you so much, and appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to thank you all for being here this evening. To all the mothers, happy Mother's Day, both on Sunday and today. For Feliz Dia de las Madres. I believe it's celebrated also in Guatemala and El Salvador. I don't know if in any other Latin American countries, but happy Mother's Day, especially to my mother who's here. Thank you for being here. And I also want to thank, I know we're going to recognize them, but I want to thank our fabulous nurses from Kaiser. They're seated back there. Can we please give our nurses a round of applause? And I also want to thank our executive director for the Downey Chamber of Commerce for also being here. Thank you, Michael Calvert. Some events that I attended. Last Thursday, I attended our Kiwanis Club of Downey Scholarship Dinner. It was at Embassy Suites. I am a member of the Kiwanis Club of Downey along with Councilmember Trujillo. And we donated $112,000 in scholarships to our local high school students, both at Downey High, Warren High, and also at Columbus High School. This is a great organization. In Kiwanis, we are focused on helping every child, one community at a time. It's an international organization. We're fortunate here to have 2 Kiwanis clubs in the city of Downey. So I do want to acknowledge and thank the Morning Club for all of their efforts. In fact, Michael Calvert is a member of the Morning Kiwanis Club. So I want to also thank them for everything that they do in the community as well, because it is a team effort. I also attended a Touch a Truck event. It was our first Touch a Truck event here in the city of Downey. We tried to have it in 2020, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we weren't able to hold this event. But at last, we were able to have it. It was a huge success. We had Downey PD, we had Downey Fire, we had Titan Tow, Public Works, our school bus from Downey Unified School District. So we had a lot of people out there, and the kids had so much fun. The look on the kids' faces made my day. They were on the fire engine trucks. They were in patrol vehicles, playing with all the devices. They were playing with Titan Tow, their tow truck, moving a car around. So they were able to lift up a car and then have the car rotate. So it was just an overall fun event. I had a couple of families come up to me and ask if we could again have it next year. So hopefully we can have the event. But I just want to thank our Downey Police and Fire and also Public Works. Delfino, is he here? Delfino, thank you so much. It was actually his idea. So let's give him a round of applause. Also, please thank Madeline. She did a tremendous job. Oh, where is she? There you are. So overall, fun event. If you're able to, please attend next year because I am hoping that we do have it again next year. So thank you again for everyone who did participate. And again, thank you, PD. Thank you, Downey Fire. Public Works, and everybody, Titan Tow, and everybody who participated in this great event. Also wanted to mention some upcoming events. We are having a Business Watch meeting on May 19th. Our topic will be active shooter, and it will be here in our council chambers at 9 a.m. So I hope you can attend this informative event. And then also Gangs Out of Downey will be having their gala at the Embassy Suites on May 20th at 6:30 p.m. And last but not least, I do want to thank our new incoming interim city attorney, Lauren. Congratulations again and welcome to the city of Downey. Okay, I will now go down and do presentations. For our first proclamation, I have It's to recognize and honor our nurses for National Nurses Week. And for this, I'd like to invite up Gerardo. And I'd also like to invite up my mom, who's also a nurse. So if I can please have all our nurses come up here. Well, it includes both of you too. Oh, thank you. So for me, it comes to no surprise that nurses mean a lot to me. And the reason being is because of my mother. She was a nurse, used to work at LAC USC Medical Center, which is in downtown or East LA area, also known as General Hospital. But she worked long hours. She took care of patients, and she always put her heart into what she did. In fact, I tell people I grew up at County Hospital because whenever my mother couldn't take care of me, I was at the hospital in the break room. And so I seen everything that nurses do, how hard they work, and how much they care about their patients. But what COVID taught us is all the remarkable work that they do. I remember my mother coming home at times with still the lines on her face from having to wear her masks. And so I know these fabulous nurses, they worked tirelessly, they worked hard. It was a stressful moment. And so I feel like we should not only be recognizing them this week, but we should be recognizing them every day, thanking them every day for all of their hard work. But I have here before me a proclamation recognizing National Nurses Week, which is from May 6th through May 12th, which reads, whereas the over 3 million registered nurses in the United States constitute our nation's largest healthcare profession, and whereas the nursing profession plays a critical role in improving patient outcomes, increasing access, coordinating care, and reducing healthcare costs. And whereas the depth and breadth of the registered nursing profession meet the different and emerging healthcare needs of the American population in a wide range of settings. And whereas a renewed emphasis on primary and preventive healthcare will require better utilization of all of our nation's registered nursing resources. And whereas more qualified registered nurses will be needed in the future to meet the increasing complex needs of healthcare consumers in this community. And now, therefore, I, Blanca Pacheco, Mayor of the City of Downey, declare May 6th to May 12th, 2022 as National Nurses Week and encourage all residents to celebrate registered nurses' accomplishments and efforts, not just during this week, but at every opportunity throughout the year. So let's give a huge round of applause for our nurses. Gerardo, would you like to say something?
Yeah, it's a great acknowledgement, from our mayor that recognizing us as nurses. It's a humble profession, I guess. Like they say, that nurses are the most trusted profession. Of all the professions out there, nurses, they say that we are the most trusted profession. We commit our heart to actually protecting the patient, protecting everybody. So the risk that we take with our work is just enormous, but that's our profession that we took, and our oath is to protect everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, we just want to say we really appreciate all the support that we get from the city of Downey here, especially, we've been doing some events for our nurses at Kaiser, a few times, and we've had to use some public property for, to park food trucks, stuff like that. I just want to say the support that we get from this city is just amazing. We are so grateful for everything that you let us, perform and all the support you've given us. So thank you, everyone.
I would like to thank, the police department,
Yep.
I remember, Lieutenant Cooper, giving us, the go signal to use the public, facilities and not having us get a permit.
Yeah.
So,
It's a big help. You don't even know how much of a weight off of our lives it's really helped us. Salute our nurses. So thank you.
Thank
And
you.
there's an in-and-out truck right now, thanks to you guys.
That's right. Thank you.
You didn't bring it?
We left before it was cooked.
Let's just start it up.
So you're not getting any out either.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So nice.
Yeah. We appreciate your support. Very nice of you. Thank you. Very much. Okay. No, so I'm sorry, we have to leave. We have an event going on right now.
Go get in and out.
Yeah. Well, we have to direct traffic, exactly. All right, so thank you. Thank you, everyone, okay? Appreciate it, okay?
Now, for the next couple of items, I would like to invite up our city manager. Oh, I'm sorry. One, almost there. I'd like to invite up our Public Works Director, Delfino Consunji, to help me with the National Public Works Week.
If I may call up my public works staff who are present here, Madeline, Lisa Fox, and George De La Torre, if you can come up, please, so you get recognized too. They're the ones who do all the heavy lifting. I just take the credit. So. Well, anyway, on behalf of Public Works, I would like to thank Mayor Pacheco and the City Council for this proclamation. Public Works Week started 62 years ago to recognize the importance and achievements of public works professionals and their contributions and service to the community. Here in Downey, Public Works is responsible for maintaining 214 miles of roadways, 276 miles of water lines, 187 miles of sewer mains, 115 traffic signals, 6,600 street lights, 20,000 trees and growing, 115 acres of parklands, and 237 fleet vehicles. This year alone, Public Works completed more than $37 million in capital improvements. In addition, we're well underway with our solar energy project and $30 million investment in our residential streets. None of these would have been possible without the dedication and hard work of our Public Works staff, and of course, direction and support from the City Council, the City Manager, and the other departments. So once again, thank you, Mayor Pacheco and the City Council.
So I have here with me a proclamation, and it has a lot of whereas, a lot of language. But most importantly, I just want to thank the hard work and the dedication that our Public Works Director and staff, what they do every day. When you exit your homes and you see nicely paved streets, it's all thanks to them. They work tirelessly. Every time I see them, I see the passion, I see the dedication in their faces. And so because of that, I thank them all the time because they work hard. So let's give them another round of applause. And I know I've thanked them before, but Madeline and our Public Works Director. They're the ones that put in so much work to make Touch a Truck happen. In fact, it was because of our Public Works Director that we even had this event. He had this idea because it was held in West Covina. And so we thought, wow, that would be great to bring it to Downey. And so it was because of him that we had this event. So I just want to thank him again for having the vision to put on this event. So I have here a proclamation and picture time. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if I have this. Now I will call up our city manager. Oh, there you are. This will be for Public Service Recognition Week.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And continuing what Delfino has just started, which is recognizing our public employees, I will tell you, the last couple of years have not been entirely easy for public employees. You're either doing too much or too little, or you're under the microscope. It's been a very difficult times. But I will tell you, it's these employees that have stepped up during a pandemic time to make sure that our residents are taken care of. And following some of the stats that Delfino had mentioned, for example, we have 1.2 million people that have visited our parks last year. We had 89,272 borrowers for our library. We had 40,000 calls answered by our police department. We had 10,000 calls from our fire department. 523 senior meals were distributed last year, and 10,000 households were served with food, and 22,000 people visited our counter for finance department for these transactions. Those are just a sampling of the things that our public employees do on a daily basis. They're an incredible group of folks. I'm proud to say that I think we have the finest in the Southeast area. They are a dedicated group of folks that give their all. I'll give you an example. I was listening one time, somebody called in and said, hey, they wanted some information. They called the wrong department. They were actually looking for a county department. Staff puts them on hold, contacts the county, gets them on the line, transfer them over. Any other place that would have been, hey, you got the wrong number, here's, go call somebody else. But that's the type of assistance that we provide. During COVID, we had people answering the phones, not a phone tree. You got a live answer by people that responded to your concerns. And there were thousands of calls, especially with changing health orders all the time. That happened continuously. So I'm happy to say that the public employees here do a remarkable job. So I want to call up individuals today who were selected by their respective departments as exemplary employees for this year. So I'm going to go ahead and call you up. City Attorney's Office, it's Crystal Santiago, a paralegal. We have Linda Tai, our Deputy City Clerk. That's fine. And representing City Manager's Office, Maria Rivas, our Management Analyst. From the Columbia Memorial Space Center, we have Diana Canales. Not here today? Okay. And then Community Development, we have Marlon Ramirez, Management Analyst. Our Finance Department, Kathleen Van Ray, our Purchasing Coordinator. Fire Department, I guess he's not here. Estick, Captain Estick, he's not here? No, yep, nope, not here. And then, let's see, we have Human Resources, Sandra Vera. Human Resources not here as well. And then Downey City Library, Antonio Garcia, not here as well. Okay, Parks and Recreation, Shantae Duran. Oh, Shantae, come on up. And then Police Department, Corporal Roger Sai. All right, let's hear it. And then Public Works, Madeline Penala. All right, fantastic. So the folks that are standing here today are true public servants. They really give their all. They really are dedicated public employees. And I will tell you, I had the pleasure of interacting with most of them at some time or another, and they're polite, respectful, and dedicated. You couldn't ask for anything more. I'm proud to say that I served with you, and I think you should be very proud of this recognition that you're receiving today, because it says something about you, and it says something about what's in your heart, and service to the community is above all. So thank you very much. One last round of applause, folks. Thank you. Do you want to do the proclamation? No. We don't do, well, let's suffice it to say that there is a proclamation for Public Service Recognition Week, May 1st through the 7th. And thank you all for being a part of it this year. Thank you.
Thank you. And like I said, there's a proclamation here, May 1st to 7th. I also want to say thank you so much for everything that you do. I see how hard each and every one of you do. So thank you. The city appreciates you. We appreciate you. And so congratulations and thank you for everything that you do for our city.
Let's get a picture, folks. Jump on this.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Our city manager, I'm going to have our city manager join us for the next certificate of recognition. This is a certificate of recognition for an outstanding woman who has worked here in the city of Downey. Amazing woman, amazing attorney, and we are sad to see her go, but we want to recognize everything she's done for the city of Downey. And so I'd like to invite up our city attorney. Even Herman is giving you a round of applause. Thank you. So I have here a certificate of recognition recognizing your 11 years of civil service here in the city of Downey as our city attorney. It's thanks to you that our city has run efficiently and that you keep us out of trouble. So know how much I appreciate you as our attorney. but also as my friend. And I know you're going to continue on doing great things, and I know we're going to be in touch, but we are going to miss you here in the city of Downey. And I'd like to invite up our city manager.
Certainly, Yvette not being here for the city moving forward is going to be difficult. She is the consummate professional attorney. I've had the pleasure of knowing Yvette for many years. We worked together in a previous city. I can't think of anybody who is smarter, more dedicated, and leads with a moral compass and is ethical to the very end. So she is driven, but not in a way that many that would think. She's driven to serve, and she's driven to provide the best service to her colleagues, to the profession, to the council, and to those employees here that come and need her help. So, Yvette, you did an amazing job. We're going to miss you, and I think that your legacy in Downey is cemented. I think the work that you did for 11 years is remarkable, and I'm proud of what you've done, and I'm proud of what you've done for the city of Downey, and I wish you all the best, and there's not a better deserving person for this award than you. So thank you. I know it's hard for these gentlemen to have the slightest respect for anybody at any given time. It's unfortunate that they have to do this. So on behalf of the residents, I apologize for these knuckleheads. This is what they do. There's no decorum on their behalf. When somebody's about to leave and has dedicated their life to this profession and has done an amazing job. So don't let these people tarnish anything that you've done. Please.
You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to thank all of the people that I worked with in the over 11 years I've been here. So I'll start. I want to thank the mayor and the council for this recognition, for allowing me to serve the city of Downey for over 11 years as the Downey city attorney. I also want to thank the past council members I had the privilege to serve with, including former mayors Mario Guerra, Roger Brosmer, Rick Rodriguez, and the late Dave Gaffin. I also want to take this opportunity to thank those I truly appreciate. I want to thank City Manager Gilbert Levis, a friend and a colleague. I want to thank the city department heads. I call them the dream team of talented professionals I've been so lucky to serve alongside with. I want to thank the city staff on the first floor who work every day manning those counters right outside the chambers and serving the public every day. I want to thank the HR and public works staff on the second floor, especially the engineers who work long hours, even after City Hall is closed, to make sure our roads are repaired and well maintained. I want to thank the third floor professionals who I worked with every day and who helped make my job a little easier. I want to thank Parks and Recreation. I appreciate that entire staff. And lastly, I want to thank the police and fire departments, in my opinion, the best public safety departments in California. And I want to leave this with the Downey residents. This is a community that cares about people. I saw it firsthand, especially during the pandemic, and that's the secret sauce that makes Downey a unique place to live and work. I wish the Downey residents good health, prosperity, and the very best going into the future. Thank you.
Now, at this time, I will take public comment on agenda, non-agenda, and consent calendar items. Before we begin the public comment period, I would like to remind members of the public that the city's meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibit any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Copies of the meeting rules are located in the back of the chambers. The City Council acknowledges the right of the public to address issues that are within the city's jurisdiction and invites the public to do so during the City Council meeting. However, this right must be balanced with the need of the City Council to conduct the public business in a fair and efficient manner, free from disruption or disturbance. Members of the audience who wish to address the City Council during public comment are reminded that the city's meeting rules prohibit yelling, whistling, booing, screaming, and any other outburst that disrupts or disturbs the meeting. Any conduct that interferes with or disrupts persons who are addressing the council. Any conduct that interferes with or disrupts council members while they are speaking. And any other conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Members of the public, members of the audience violating the city's meeting rules after fair warnings shall be removed from the council chambers. I remind the audience that pursuant to Penal Code Section 403, it is a misdemeanor for any person to willfully disturb or break up a public meeting. Those violating Penal Code Section 403 may be cited accordingly. Members of the audience violating the city's meeting rules after fair warning shall be removed from the council chambers. I remind the audience that pursuant to Penal Code Section 403, it is a misdemeanor for any person to willfully disturb or break up a public meeting. Those violating Penal Code, that's redundant. Those violating Penal Code Section 403 may be cited accordingly. Unless modified by the mayor, each speaker shall have 4 minutes to address the council regarding agenda, non-agenda, and consent calendar items. Pursuant to the Downey Municipal Code, the public comment period is limited to 30 minutes. I remind speakers that your comments be addressed to me and not to any other council or staff member. A language interpreter is available in person for those members of the public needing interpretation. Deputy City Clerk Tai, did we receive any written correspondence to be incorporated into the record?
Yes, Mayor, we received correspondence from 2 individuals, and I'll begin reading them now. From Daisy Quiros. Greetings, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Daisy Quiros. I am a resident of Downey. I live on, her address was provided. And yesterday I witnessed a horrific traffic collision. Please consider reviewing the attached traffic calming petition. It has been a couple of terrifying months for the community. Last night, the neighbors gathered around witnessing the accident and fearing that it had gone too far. We are pleading with you to improve the neighborhood and redesign Paramount Boulevard from the I-5 bridge to Lubeck Street. All the best, Daisy Quiros. And the second comment is from Bruce Crow. I wish to address the council on the following issues listed but are not limited to: 1, support the recall of George Gascon publicly. Explain your position why or why not. 2, support all First Amendment rights for all Americans. 3, oppose all tyrannical lockdowns. 4, oppose all mask mandates. 5, oppose all vaccine mandates. 6, oppose the global depopulation agenda of the World Economic Forum. 7, oppose all tax hikes, including the proposed hotel tax. 8, oppose all big tech disinformation campaigns being perpetrated through all social media and fake news outlets. 9, oppose the fake proxy war in Ukraine. Thanks for your time, BC. And dear council members, I would like to mention the details of the oath an immigrant takes to become a citizen of this United States of America, the greatest nation and culture on the face of the earth ever to exist throughout history. The details read like this: I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure or renounce all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies. Studying these words should be required for all citizens of Downey. Something to think about. Thanks for your time. Bruce A. Crow, Downey, California. And those are all written comments we've received.
Okay. Thank you. Now, members of the public wishing to address the City Council may come forward and form a line.
So, Madam Mayor, I'd like to read my claim of damages on file number 22033 for the record and submit it into the record as a public testimony to a potential liability of the city of Downey for threats during public comment time of non-agenda. Because again, as I mentioned, public issues should be uninhibited. And at times, yes, they include venomous, caustic, and sometimes unpleasant, sharp attacks on government and public officials. However, that's how we grade people in their performance. And it's just sad and unfortunate that I used the Brandenburg versus Ohio US 39504 1969, Julius U. Supreme Court Center, Save America, and I won't repeat it, but it does say a dirty nigger for the record. And then I'm going to hold in my hand the Los Angeles Justice upholds students' right to free speech and post of profane words into the record. And then I'm going to submit the indictment of Mitchell Englander, a criminal of an enterprise of Los Angeles, soon to be Jose Luis Huizar, February 2023. And then I'm going to submit into the record the criminal enterprise Mamihan FBI 310-477-6565 for the record, in addition to my complaint with the housing authority known as the Department of Justice Civil Rights at Washington, D.C. 2530, my civil complaint rights of housing, and how unfair and how regulatory the system of Downey and Los Angeles County, Mamihan, your elements of corruption have prevented housing for the disabled, the elderly, yes, Mr. Donald LaPlante, for the elderly and the disabled. And it's unfortunate we see in today's times that many of these individuals live where else? On the streets of Downey. How do I know that? Look at the back of the shirt. It tells you. So item 4, approve $1 million for a fund of a truck ladder. Well, what's wrong with the ladder we have now? Second of all, number 5, California Office of Emergency Services. We don't need emergency service fire engine. That's up to the jackass governor, Gavin Newsom, to provide us with a vehicle like that, not for the public to purchase or have one sitting in a yard here, rusting away. This is the problem with small cities. We're not charitable, Mr. Trujillo. We are not LGBT, feel sorry for me because I was born this way. No. Romans chapter 1, verse 26 through 27 states, to my heart of passion, God hates homosexuality. No offense. However, repent, and God shall save you from the floodgates of Gehenna and the sulfur of fire that will rupture for those who bring upon those condemnation. For a man shall not lie with a man, nor a woman lie with a woman. So for the record, is Mommy Pacheco, the assemblywoman, good enough for Downey? No! Vote no! No assemblywoman! Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herman.
There you go, ma'am, for the record. Don't lose it, because the FBI might want to question you about it. Thank you.
Lee Squire. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, mothers, police officers, and firefighters. This next one I'm doing is not easy, and Mother's Day will never be the same for me. And yes, I'm Recall Gascon. Mother's Day. On Friday, I gave the city clerk a copy of a photo of each council member. The photo was of a murdered son whose mother cries justice out against Gascon. I ask for you council members to see that photo of that murdered boy, and I ask each of you to feel how that mother feels as to betrayal by LADA Gascon's policies. Councilmember Trujillo knows all about betrayal of mothers of murdered sons. Trujillo, do you even remember to think about that mother on Mother's Day who you betrayed according to those court transcripts?
Speak to the mayor. Don't direct your comments to me.
Yeah. I don't need you to tell me about my rights. I just wanted the mothers of Downey to be made aware that the betrayal by Gascon and by Councilmember Trujillo when he was a prosecutor with the DA's office. National Police Week. Is May 15 to May 21, I present to the Downey police officers frame recognition of National Police Week, Respect, Honor, and Remember, and a framed picture by Norman Rockwell called The Runaway Boy, a picture of a police officer with a young boy. I ask for a wreath and a proclamation be presented at the police memorial during next week. Finally, firefighter facilities and their dedication plaques. I'm still waiting for the dedication plaque at the firefighter memorial. This memorial was dedicated on November 2020, honoring the families of the 2 fallen and remembered firefighters. I would also like to figure out when you plan to put the dedication plaques on all 4 of our fire stations. These were funded by Measure S. Don't tell me you don't have the money. God bless America, and God bless local policing and their families across America. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
I'm here again for trying to get an ordinance regulating drones in the city of Downey, since there isn't any state or county ordinance regulating it. I saw in the paper where the city attorney is leaving, and I'm hoping the new attorney, I'm glad to see she's here, will continue on with that, working with the police chief and hopefully get an ordinance. And I'm pleased to announce that a detective called me this past week and told me that they have a warrant for arrest for this person that's been terrorizing our neighborhood with a drone. My concern is, like I said, he flies over the property, he hovers over the swimming pools, he has a spotlight that shines in our sliding windows, he goes up to the second floor, and he is like a peeping Tom. He terrorizes the whole neighborhood, and he has 2 drones. One has 4 propellers on it, one has 2. And he knows how to fly it, I'll say that much. But if he ever lost control, I'm scared, like if my grandkids were in the pool, if it would electrify the pool, or, you know, I don't know that much about drones. But I hope you continue on and you will get an ordinance regulating these drones for future purposes here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for giving us an update as to what's going on.
Yes, I'm glad the police department is, well, a lieutenant came to my house and talked to me for about an hour and a half. He's got photos, he's got videos and everything of this drone from the past. And if it goes to court, I hope that he does some jail time. He has terrorized us for 10 months. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor and council, I just wanted to let you know that a couple of weeks ago, the drone ordinance was assigned to the city prosecutor to start working on. So he's working on an ordinance, working with police department. So that is something that this council should see in the next month and a half.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Greenspan, dropping everything. Well, and wanted to thank the chaplain for the prayer and mentioning Jesus, who never had brunch with the bunny, but had a Last Supper on Passover and never ate any ham or went on an Easter egg hunt. Now, a couple things. I see that, how should I say it? 4 down, 1 to go for our departing Downey cradle to gravers. Anyway, where's Councilmember Guerra? Oops. Oh, well. Now, I know that he's been a little bit controversial, but now let me go on to others. Oh, by the way, our departing attorney, 11 years of public service. My brother was 40 years in private practice, but let me quote a little early from a disgraced pig for Police Week, Mitchell Englander, who said to Mr. Spindler, "You'll be missed by nobody." Now, there's a number, 1-800-551-7558. Let me repeat that number again, 1-800-551-7558. Is that the number of the FBI? No. Is it the number of the Fair Political Practices Commission, where we report those Downey irregularities? No. Is it the Internal Revenue Service with that contribution that Pierce should declare on his taxes? No. Well, what is it? It's the number of Boucher, LLP. And if you've heard KNX, for people who were sexually abused by priests, even though no matter how long ago it was or how old you are, you have a right to civil damages, not criminal prosecutions. All those statutes, most of them have run out. But you must do so by December. So if maybe a preacher like Rodriguez or Guerra maybe fucked you when you were 10 or 11 or 12 years old, and now you're in your 30s or 40s, at least get some money out of it. And after all, and if you had a teacher maybe at Warren who fucked you, a blonde teenager as a 16-year-old, so you'd get an A back in the 80s, you can't do anything about it criminally, but go get some money from the Downey School Board because they allowed it to happen. Yes, folks, justice is somewhat being served. Unfortunately, these people are getting away with a lot, probably murder. In fact, for Police Week coming up, there was a famous queer police person in LA, Dave Kalish, and he even applied for chief. And then they found out after the statute of limitations had expired that on the Explorer trips, he explored all right, those underage teenage boys with his heart on up their ass. But the statute of limitations had expired. At least they didn't make him police chief. Hey, maybe you might want him here in Downey. Someone like that. But, and I mean but, because he explored up their butts with his heart on. So, by the way, you know what's the difference between a pimple and a priest? A pimple doesn't come on your face until you're 12. And one other thing, today is a special day. And I want to share it with everybody. Happy Confederate Memorial Day. Yeah, we got a Confederate Memorial Day.
Time's up. Please have a seat.
My name is Alan Halstensgaard. I came here tonight to recommend to you the video, Whose Children Are They? Everyone who has children in the public school system should watch this video. It is an expose of what is going on in the public schools. To watch this video, go to salemnow.com.
Good evening, I'm a little shorter than that. Good evening, Ms. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Stephanie Nava Angeles. I'm the Program Manager at Water Education for Latino Leaders. WELL is a nonprofit statewide organization educating local elected officials like yourselves about California water policy. I'm here to personally invite all of you to attend our upcoming conference on Friday, June 10th to Saturday, June 11th over in Pico Rivera at the WRD Albert Robles Center. At the conference, we're going to be talking about the main challenges currently affecting the water industry, especially as California is currently experiencing one of the worst droughts in our recorded history. Specifically, you may have seen in the news that Metropolitan Water District recently announced the regulation of certain water restrictions coming to this region starting June 1st. And so this, coupled with the governor's recommendation to also decrease our water usage, means that the consumption of water needs to vastly decrease in order to meet the demands for the rest of the year. However, as water consumption decreases, this means that a new challenge is going to arise, which means that the only way for our water industries to make up the lost revenue is going to be by increasing our water rates. This can pose as a issue for low-income residents. So at the conference, we're going to be talking about some of the solutions that can be implemented to help not only low-income residents, but also some of the funding that's available through the state and our region. We're also going to be talking about the different projects that are currently being built in this region to help meet future water demands and lessen the demand for imported water to our state. So I did bring some flyers that I will be sharing with you all. My contact information is attached, so I hope you will all be able to attend, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Levis and staff, good evening. Madam Mayor, I will try to make my comments short. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome Mr. LaPlante. I hope you can figure out what the buttons on your computer mean by the next meeting. And I welcome you to the evening council meeting, sometimes known by some as the circus. Secondly, I want to thank and acknowledge our city attorney, Yvette Abish Garcia. Thank you for all you've done for the city, and I wish you well on your new journey. The other comments have to do with, I'm going to pick on Mr. George Gascon, as some of our earlier members did here also. Mr. Gascon was elected to office. He ran on a platform of changing the criminal justice system to benefit the criminal with the use of stressing rehabilitation instead of incarceration. Mr. Gascon went into office in December of 2020. He issued several policies, some of which included the elimination of the three-strike law, the elimination of gang enhancements, the elimination of sentencing enhancements. He also eliminated several misdemeanors, including public intoxication, resisting arrest, and also he eliminated bond or cash bail for certain misdemeanors. Now, a lot of people have some issues with that. In fact, some have suggested that Mr. Gascon should put a plaque in his office which reads, "If you do the crime, you do no time." So with that in mind, there's been several that have issues with Mr. Gascon's policies, especially victims of crimes. 34 cities out of the 88 cities in Los Angeles County have issued a vote of no confidence in Mr. Gascon. Downey is one of them, and thank you for that. Also, in Mr. Gascon's office, there's several hundred of attorneys. And recently, they had a poll of the attorneys in his office, and 98% of the attorneys in Mr. Gascon's office voted to recall Mr. Gascon. That is a toxic environment to work in. So what I'm suggesting, there is a recall effort out now again. The first recall effort against Mr. Gascon failed because of a lack, apparently, of money. The current recall effort requires roughly 567,000 registered voters to sign a petition to oust Mr. Gascon. That has to be done by July 6th of this year. So all those in the audience and up here on the dais, if you have problems with Mr. Gascon's policy of his progressive experiment not really working very well, I suggest you go to the website, That ends my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Lacy.
Hello. Downey. Okay. Hi. I come with the two issues. First is the vaccine mandates. As I hear the LA County increased 180% of the COVID cases. Well, this is summertime, but 180% increase is unbelievable. How many really testing? But with the vaccinations, there are many issues, not only for the efficiency, but also side effects. Well, it can be complications because some of the costs increased with the EMS, with this vaccines mandates. And also this vaccine has the issue that is not effective because those previous vaccine we called, so-called vaccines, should protect us from those infections. But these vaccines only protect from the S proteins on the COVID virus. So it does not protect us from the COVID infections completely. Even 100% people, those who get the vaccines, boosters, multiple times, they will get the COVID no matter what, because this is only covering one side of the virus instead of covering whole surface. Because virus comes in, even though the S protein site is protected and covered with S protein antibodies. And secondly, with inflations, I hope you make decisions where you want more efficiency on our tax. Since, on our street where I live, in some line close to the Price Elementary, all these streets are now repairing. Secondly, additionally on top of with the cement things, but since I want this kind of unnecessary repair, because still the street condition is okay to be used. I want those tax to used for something else, for effective for our quality of waters, which is more important than just how good it is in the looking of the street. And thirdly, regarding the LGBTQ issue, since nowadays it's okay. Supreme Court make about the pro-life and the life of the women, the right for the women. But this is the purpose of who we need to protect more, weaker person. So I know why LGBTQ picnics is supporting, but this is totally wrong concept, because LGBTQ is a personal choice, and this is not the true minors. Many people saying LGBTQ is the minor, but really, minor is who was born with it, which we cannot change with it. But LGBTQ is their own choice. And why we support these minors, those interests, why we support those interests, which anybody can do. Lastly, I want to bring up one doctor's PhD. Well,
thank you.
I'll talk next time. Thank you.
Okay, so first I want to speak about, there was a mention by Councilmember Trujillo about the mayor, Pacheco for assembly. Pacheco should not be voted in for the state assembly. Let me just outline one reason. So we've heard about the Kessner lawsuit. The Kessner lawsuit is a water-related lawsuit. So California cities have been in violation of the law that the citizens passed. The cities have not been paying for their own use of water. Many cities do comply with the law, but many of them don't. So the lawsuit came down in March of 2020, and the mayor, Pacheco, did not want to mention it. She didn't bring it up. There was no public hearing. This was a breach of her fiduciary duty. The reason they're speaking about this, and is because they are freaked out that this is obviously going to come out. It already came out in Long Beach. It came out in different cities, but here we have the fake news, Downey Patriot, that doesn't actually cover what's actually happening, which is that the city manager, the mayor, and all the past council members and the city attorney conspired to take ratepayer money in a way that was not legal according to the California Constitution. So when Mr. Trujillo says that he's supporting her, the reason why he wants that is because he wants someone up there in Sacramento who's easy to manipulate. He has been trying to manipulate people here, like Councilmember Alvarez, and sometimes I think he's been successful, and I think sometimes he hasn't. So I really hope that Councilmember Alvarez stands up against, Mr. Trujillo and Ms. Pacheco and everything that they represent. So it's very important to keep on with the good fight, because Mr. LaPlante, let's talk about Mr. LaPlante is now here. He's new. Mr. LaPlante is very important. You're going to have to decide. Are you going to rescue this city? Or are you just going to be on the
direct your
side
comments
of the crime?
to me.
All right. So I want to know, Mayor, is Mr. LaPlante just going to rubber stamp everything that you're doing wrong and all the illegal activity that you're doing? Or is he actually going to stand up for the people? Is he going to, for once and for all, is he going to weigh in on the Gascon recall? Why constituents have been asking? Why was he also sworn in at 4 p.m.? That was a time when constituents could not make it. So that was totally ridiculous and unfair to the public. So also, okay, we have this new city attorney. So I guess all the rumors were true. Everyone can go right now to LinkedIn and look up Ms. Lauren Langer. So you can see that she is an authority on marijuana. She also gave a talk called Brown Act Traps and Escape Routes. So she is going to be, I guess, orchestrating you people's illegal activities. Wow. So that's going to be the person that's going to get this salary? It's like an upgrade in crime from Avish Garcia. All this pretension that, we need to be somehow, you guys want the public to just kind of be quiet. You have commissioners like Mr. Esse saying that, you got to be civil. The fact is, you people up there are engaged in criminal activity. And that's why the FBI is very interested in what the community has been saying. So it's going to be very exciting. You're all going to be gone. And that's going to be great for the community.
Thank you. Madam City Attorney, did you want to say anything about the Kessner case?
The city of Downey has been dismissed from the Kessner case for some couple months now. You can get the dismissal on file with the city clerk's office.
Okay, next speaker.
It could be refiled? Okay. Anyways, it can be refiled, so don't let the crap that the city attorney, who's now leaving, influence your perspective. By the way, they're here to protect themselves, just so you know. And a good example can be seen on video on last week's city council meeting, when we saw the elected member of the 5th district threaten and challenge a constituent of Downey to a fight during city council meeting. He did that right here in front of most of you. A few cops in here. That's illegal. You guys witnessed the crime and said and did nothing. I cracked this joke earlier. It was like watching Will Smith smack Chris Rock for the 2nd time because nobody did nothing. They just let it happen. Right, crooks? I'm glad that she's getting released from this contract. I'm glad that most of you are fleeing because you know you can't stay here legally. Because there's a civil lawsuit that's going to follow you wherever, whatever city, whatever law firm you end up in. What we said about Trujillo and Vasquez trying to bring marijuana to Downey, well, guess what? The new city attorney that's gonna be over here in Downey now has a background in that. Interesting, huh? Interesting how everything we've been saying for years about our water, about our assistant city managers, about the inability of these people to actually hold people accountable, how all of that is playing out on public record. And then we have a commissioner who thinks it's okay to tell the public to stay quiet on what's essentially the First Amendment, protected by the Brown Act. We have a government appointee telling a constituent to not enact their constitutional rights. My question is, if you were quiet about the sexual harassment that Mr. Askew did, why are you telling others to stay quiet? If you were quiet about the water contamination that we were talking about since 2016, in which Mayor Frometa at that time was denying with the help of the city manager and the city attorney, by the way, there's still PFAS in your water, and most of you are still drinking and showering with it. If you stood quiet about that, who the hell are you to tell anyone to stay quiet? While our children are being called fat by Mr. Askew, while our family members are drinking dirty water and showering with it, while our money for inclusionary housing has been misappropriated and perhaps even stolen since, what, 1993? While all of that is happening and if you've said nothing other than worry about the stakeholders, then you are not for the people, and you're definitely no one to tell the community to not uphold their own rights. The Commissioner Kevin Essay did that. And I thought that was strange because he is a black man telling a minority like me who has struggled to have his civil rights protected in this chamber to once again put my rights aside so that the elites, the stakeholders, as he used in his statement, have protection so that they're comfortable investing in this city. Let me tell you, I don't care because you have council members doing the work for those stakeholders. Where are the workers and the council members fighting for our community members? The ones that are losing their homes, the ones that are drinking contaminated water. Where is the protection? We thought we had Alvarez, but we don't have Alvarez anymore. She got the boot out of the progressive movement. So now we have no one in this chamber that looks out for the common folk, and we have their pets in the commission telling everyone else to keep your mouth shut while these people continue to rape and pillage our city. I'm glad that you guys are being investigated and that you guys are fleeing. 5 people are fleeing. We expect more staff members to do so, and we will be here to continue to deliver the facts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
City Manager. Yeah, I just didn't want that to be the last voice in here tonight. So I wanted to congratulate you on the post, Council Member LaPlante. It's good to have a balance again. Now that we have 5, it'll be easier to enact policy that comes up via ordinance or any of the like. I wanted to echo some of Councilwoman Alvarez's comments on the Shower of Hope and its successful run, how it's going. Glad to see that you're out there most Mondays doing your thing. It's good to see those kind of projects thriving. Speaking of community, I know there are other projects like the homeless veterans projects that some of past council members are spearheading, which I love to see. I'm a huge homeless advocate, housing. I'm glad to see that the Touch a Truck event was a success. I did not know that was DeFino's project. Thank you for bringing that to the city. He talked about it at Fair Deal at the Public Works Commissioner meeting. But you didn't say that was your project, but unfortunately I couldn't attend that. I saw the videos that Madam Mayor posted. I'm glad to see that you're utilizing more social media, because that is one of the best ways to reach the youth. They're not really in person anymore, they're mostly video. So to see that you're doing more of that is good. Lastly, I know there's a bunch of controversy surrounding your leave, the two of you, but I'd just like to say, in the brief time that I've seen you, you've handled some, to say chaotic experiences is putting it mildly. Today was a good example of that, but I don't know you as well, but I know you will be missed. I see some of the staff, like I know Lisa back there, she's a big supporter of Mr. Livas here, and you have friends in Ms. Garcia as well. Yeah, so you've had a long run, and I hope you have success wherever your life takes you next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was my first time doing the Facebook Live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And seeing no further speakers, I'd like to now entertain a motion to close public comment. Second, so ordered by the mayor. We will now proceed on to the consent calendar items. Are there any council members that would like to, well, actually, before I move any further, I'd like to pull item number 1, special minutes of the special meeting minutes of the April 26, 2022 meeting? Yes. Yeah? Okay. So I'll pull that item. But are there any other council members that would like to remove or abstain from an item? I would like to abstain from item number 3, as my house is within 300 feet of this project. Any other abstentions? No? Okay. Can I have a motion, a second, to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Is there a second? Can we please vote? Wait, actually, I think we need an abstention from Councilmember LaPlante for the regular meeting minutes of February 8th, 2022?
I thought you pulled the whole thing.
Oh, no, just the April 26th. So we'll have LaPlante also abstain from the meeting minutes of, the regular meeting minutes of February 8th, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's vote.
I'm sorry, Mayor, can you confirm who was the second on the motion?
Was there a motion? There was a motion made by?
Councilmember Trujillo, right?
And then a second by Councilmember Alvarez?
Thank you, thank you.
And then I abstain from item number 3, and Councilmember LaPlante abstained from the minutes of regular meeting of February 8th, 2022.
Thank you, the motion passes 4-0. Okay.
And that would be with Councilmember Frometta, excuse absence.
I'm sorry, yes, with Councilmember Frometta absent, thank you.
Thank you. City Manager Olivas, do you have any comments?
Just a couple of quick comments. Again, I think everybody's already echoed the Touch a Truck event. Again, thank you so much to Delfino. Also wanted to report out, we're getting pretty close to letting out all the money, the bond money for the streets, residential streets, $30 million. We're getting pretty close to doing that. Today, you've accepted one of the first projects that we let out was the $2.6 million. So huge investment. If you look at the infrastructure investment in the city over the past 3 years, it's over $100 million of investment in the city's infrastructure, which is most of all our parks have been touched. 4 brand new fire stations, police officers, police station, certainly a huge library, civic center, a lot of investment in the city over the last several years, over $100 million. And if you walk out this evening, you'll also see that we have the solar project. It's well on its way. Hopefully we'll get that connected sometime midsummer, and we'll be able to have that switched on. Again, eliminating, hundreds of miles of vehicles emissions, equivalent of eliminating that from the road. So that's a big deal for us. So really excited about that. There's a lot of stuff to be really proud of in Downey in terms of what's going on. And so, and that's really a testament to the staff and to the city council for the vision and moving this thing forward. So a lot of good stuff happening in Downey. So again, thank you to the staff. This is Public Service Week. Wouldn't happen without all the dedication that the staff does. Special thanks to the department heads who have really, made sure that this thing has moved forward and continues to move forward and will continue to move forward. Once I go and once the city attorney leaves, I'm sure you'll be all in good hands. And again, welcome to Lauren, smart individual. I'm sure will get us through the next phase as we look to move Downey forward in the next several months. So thank you.
Thank you. And today is actually our city attorney's last official council meeting. So I just want to thank her again for all that she's done here for our city. We are truly going to miss her. And I wish her much luck and success wherever she goes. And to Lauren, I hope this circus didn't scare you. I'm sure you're already used to that. But thank you, and again, congratulations, and thank you for joining us. So I will now adjourn the council meeting in memory of the victims of the Ukraine crisis and the lives lost to COVID-19. A moment of silence. The time is 8:10, meeting adjourned.